Yes.
I think we're
No.
good, right?
Yeah, I'm ready if you're ready, Bruno.
Now batting number 4, left fielder Gerald Wall.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Kitchener, Ontario for Softball Canada's championship tournaments. We're making a bit of a switch after exclusively doing under 23 games. We now move to the men's division. This is game number 3 in the men's tournament. The Josh Collins Racing Red out of Newfoundland in against the Toronto Batmen. We're in the top of the first inning. There's one man down, Jared Wall at the plate. Wall swings through for strike 2. One man out, that was Justin Gill, the shortstop. He struck out. The pitcher for the Toronto Batmen this morning is Tyler Randerson. First action for both teams here on what is day number 3 of the Kitchener Fastball Promotion events. We're running 3 tournaments concurrently here in Kitchener. We're at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard on the main diamond. Did he go? The appeal down, he did. And so that's 2 strikeouts for Randerson to start the ball game. Last night, the Batmen were scheduled to go against the host team, the Hallman Cubs, but that game was not necessarily rained out, but because the schedule got backed up, they decided that they will play that game on Thursday. So this is the first action for the Batmen and the first action for the Racing Red. We have 2 other games in progress in the men's division, as this one is fouled away by Mark Stack. Stack is the third baseman for the Josh Collins Racing Red, with 2 men down in the top of the first inning. The East Hants Mastodons out of Nova Scotia are playing the Waterdown Hammer. And also, just about to get underway, Sault, British Columbia, in against the Mixburg Twins. So 3 games in the men's division, all set to go here at the Peter Hallman Ball-Yard. Swing and a miss by Stack. We can tell you that the East Hants game with Waterdown is underway. They're in the bottom of the second inning with 1 out and Waterdown at the plate, a scoreless game at this point. So we'll keep you up to date as we go along with our games today. Tyler Anderson fires it in, and he strikes out the side. So an impressive start to the tournament for Tyler Anderson. 3 up, 3 down for the Josh Collins Racing Red. When the Batmen come to the plate in game number 3 of Softball Canada men's event, it will be Mitch McKay, Tyler Pauly, and Denny Benson batting 1, 2, 3. McKay, the shortstop, Pauly in center field, and Benson, the right fielder. Again, these are the first 3 games in the men's division. If you're just joining us or have fumbled upon us, we thank you for joining us here at softball.ca and through the auspices of Conestoga College Digital TV. We have done exclusively under 23 games to this point in the tournament. But the men have taken over the Peter Hallman Ball-Yard. Meanwhile, the Masters Tournament, which is the 3rd tournament that we're offering this week, it's being contested at Bud Park today, and eventually we'll switch over here to the Peter Hallman Ball-Yard. In the under-23 division, most teams have played 5 games. This will be the final day of the round robin for the under-23. Each team will play 6 times, and that will determine final standings. And the top 6 teams will advance to the playoff round tomorrow. Now, I say that with a caveat, based on our weather that we're anticipating tomorrow, is not necessarily spectacular. The day here today in Kitchener is delightful for ball. We've got lots of sun and a cloud cover as well, and we're anticipating that eventually we will have a mainly cloudy day. Going to my precious phone, we'll take a look at the weather for the Kitchener area coming up tomorrow. Today, sun and cloud and a high of 20. Tomorrow, we're calling for a 70% chance of rain and a high of 18. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just what they're telling me. No score in this game, and no score in the East Hants Waterdown game. And the game between Sault and Mixburg is about to get underway in a matter of a minute. Starting pitcher for Newfoundland's Josh Collins Racing Red will be Jordan Noftal. Leading off for the Batmen will be the shortstop, Mitch McKay. McKay, a left-handed batter. Noftal, a right-handed pitcher. Ball 1. Decent crowds at all 3 diamonds for the Softball Canada Championships. Offered at a bunt, missed it, and it's 1-1. All right, what are you eating over there? Smells delicious. We've been well looked after, certainly by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. But somebody's done some home cooking here, and it smells delicious. It's just not fair. McKay with a count of 1-2. There's ball. McKay will be followed by Tyler Pauly, the center fielder. Denny Benson in right field will bat third, and the cleanup hitter is Andy Skelton. 2 Skeltons in the ballpark, or in the ball game for the Batmen. Andy will play first base. Cody is the designated player. Called strike, which should fill it up. Jordan Noftal comes to the slab, rocks back, and delivers. And this one is punched high sky into center field. Under it, with room to spare, is Logan Power. One down for the Batmen, bottom of the first inning, no score. That brings up number 7, Tyler Pauly, who is playing center field for the Batmen in this game. There are 10 teams in the men's division. 6 of them are in action as we speak. The game that you're watching on Conestoga College Digital TV, Toronto Batmen against the Josh Collins Racing Red out of Newfoundland. Pauly takes ball 1. And there's ball 2. Knopffel's pitch bouncing in there. The catcher, Brent Hatfield, blocking it, but not necessarily with his glove. If you missed the game this morning between Delisle and Murno, Delisle lost it 4-3 with the walk-off single. This one is fouled away. Max Major, the catcher for Delisle, a counterpart to the catcher for Newfoundland, Brett Hatfield, had a particularly rugged day physically. He took balls that were fouled off his body, and then also got hit by a pitch. So there'll be some marks on his body as the Delisle team heads to their final game. Pauly, the center fielder for Batman, grounds it, and it gets right through the second baseman, Jeremy O'Reilly. We're going to give Pauly a base hit on that, which brings Denny Benson to the plate. Benson, the right fielder. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning in game number 3 of Softball Canada's Men's Championship, being put on by Kitchener Fastball Promotions. Swing and a miss by Benson, and so Knopfdal gets ahead in the count. O'Reilly, the second baseman, had to range to his right, take his glove from his left hand or across his body, and couldn't make the play. Now here's another chance at first, and that's unfortunately goes off the first baseman's mitt, and Jordan Hamilton couldn't make the play. So that puts 2 on with 1 out. Up next will be Skelton, and I can say that with great confidence because it will either be Andy or Cody. As it stands, it's number 42, Andy Skelton, the first baseman. 2 on, 1 out for the Batmen here in the bottom of the first inning. Lifted, and the shortstop calling for it and making the play with the putout is Justin Gill. So Andy Skelton pops out to the shortstop. Here comes his younger brother, Cody. And the Josh Collins Racing Red are going to have a conference. Brent Hatfield, the catcher, goes out to talk to the pitcher, Jordan Knopfdal, about how they want to approach this. Runner at first is Denny Benson. Runner at second is Tyler Pauly. 2 out, 2 on. Bottom of the first inning in game number 3 of the men's division of Softball Canada Championships. Jordan Knopfdal will fire inside for ball 1. On deck will be Corey Way. Way is playing left field today for the Toronto Batmen. Knopfdal sets again. Outside. 2 men aboard. Pauly on the base hit. Benson gets aboard when the first baseman for Newfoundland, Jordan Hamilton, couldn't squeeze the ball. Not sure how to score that one, because I don't know that Hamilton had to play otherwise, even if he did field it. He had moved significantly to his right, and Benson was running it hard enough that he might have beat it out. Pitching very carefully to Skelton, who has worked the count in his favor. And he takes a 4-pitch walk. First walk of the game for Jordan Noftel. And very early in the ball game, we have a threat with Corey Way coming to the plate. Noftel, with the bases loaded against him, fires a strike to Corey Way. On deck is the catcher, Derek Hyde. Way takes a high one for ball one. Toronto Batmen threatening. Bases loaded. Skelton at first. Benson at second. Pauly at third. 2 men out. Scoreless, bottom of the first inning. Fouled away. Strike 2. Toronto will play again later in the day at 6 o'clock tonight. They'll be going against the Waterdown Hammer in a battle of Ontario teams. The Batmen seeded Ontario 1, Waterdown seeded Ontario 3. Fouled away again as Way stays alive. 3 games in the men's division taking place basically this hour on all 3 diamonds. Then mid-afternoon, 3:15, 3:45, and 4 p.m., there will be 3 more games, including one here on Diamond 1, where the Galloway Hitmen, who are the defending champions, will go against the host Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. Cubs also scheduled to play against Micksburg tonight in their second game. Noftel doing his best to get rid of Way. Way doing his best to stay alive. Way doing his best to try and drive in some runs here and get something on the board. The East Hants Waterdown game started about 15 minutes before this one did. And the Souk Loggers and Micksburg Twins, as I look over at diamond number 2, it's just about getting set to get going. Swing and a miss, and that ends the threat. Change up by Jordan Noftel retires the Batman. No runs, they got 1 hit. They left 3 men on base, and we go to the second inning. Jeremy O'Reilly, Jordan Hamilton, the first baseman, and Logan Power out in center field will be the 3 batters scheduled to come to the plate for the Josh CollinsRacing Red. Top of the second inning, scoreless here in men's game number 3. Kitchener Fastball Promotions wants to thank their sponsors, obviously. That includes Expressway Ford in New Hamburg, who furnished that great vehicle you're probably seeing if you're in the Kitchener area. There's a great Expressway Ford New Hamburg vehicle. It's a minivan, if you will, but the configurations or the design on it makes it look like a rolling baseball. Conestoga College, also a big supporter for the Kitchener Fastball Promotions. In fact, you're watching this game courtesy of Conestoga College, CCDTV. The game you're watching, the Josh CollinsRacing Red, coming to the plate in the top of the second inning in a scoreless game. Under 23 action will resume a little bit after 1 o'clock today with the Shallow Lake Sting going against the Delisle Pride. Shallow Lake is 1-4 after losing to Tavistock this morning. Delisle 2-3 after losing to Murno. Also mid-afternoon or early afternoon, Rostock will be on this diamond against the Murno Mariners. And then at 1:45, the New Hamburg Mustangs will play their first of 2 today when they go against the Tavistock Merchants. The Merchants 2-2 after winning their game today. This is Softball Canada, men's division, game number 3. We'll do a check on the Masters scores here as we get set for Jeremy O'Reilly coming to the plate. Tyler Anderson takes his target, fires strike 1. The Masters tournament is being played today at Bud Park. All the games are at Bud Park today. We're broadcasting from the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Okay. Want to thank Bruno, who's with Conestoga College. Just handed me a note. Since Monday, 3,200 people have been watching at one point or another on Conestoga College Digital TV. Strike to Jeremy O'Reilly. Based on the analytics, we have people watching from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Manitoba, all over Ontario, viewers from Prince Edward Island and from Nova Scotia, and around the globe. Jeremy O'Reilly strikes out, so that's 4 up, 4 down for the Josh CollinsRacing Red. All of them have been by strikeout. Jordan Hamilton will try and end that streak as the first baseman comes to the plate with 1 man down. Bruno, thanks for this. Appreciate that, and we also appreciate everybody that's listening in and taking advantage of softball.ca. During the next break, we'll take a look at some of the Masters scores. Ball 1 to Jordan Hamilton. We thank everybody for joining us on softball.ca and also following along on Game Changer, which is the app that is connected to softball.ca. Hamilton takes strike 2. So Tyler Anderson has struck out all 4 batters that he's faced. Justin Gill, Gerald Wall, Mark Stack, all going down in the first inning. O'Reilly down here, the cleanup hitter. And now Hamilton swings and misses. 2 strikes on Hamilton. How you doing, Trevor? Tyler Anderson looking to make it 5 strikeouts. Fouled off. Hamilton stays alive. How's your day going today, Tyler? Your brother? Oh, here's Tyler. You're Trevor. Trevor. And I wrote Trevor down. That's the worst thing. Randerson the pitch, the changeup, and he gets his 5th strikeout victim, swinging Jordan Hamilton. That brings Logan Power to the plate. Do you want to join me, Trevor, or are you going to go in an observational category?
Let's observe for a second while I figure out what my schedule's like for the day.
Okay. I know I'll be away for the next game on Peter Hallman Ball Yard 1, and then back for the 2 that follow. It's getting a little complex today with 3 tournaments taking place, 2 of them here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard, 1 over at Bud Park. We'll be going over to Bud Park in just a moment to take a look at what's happening in the Masters division. Randerson facing Logan Power, the center fielder. It's been 3 up, 3 down in the first inning, 2 up, 2 down here in the second. All 5 putouts have been by shutout, or by strikeout in a scoreless game. Called strike on Power. Should Power get aboard, Robbie Green is the designated player. He's on deck for the Josh CollinsRacing Red out of Newfoundland. One of 2 teams from Newfoundland in the tournament in the men's division. Murno playing in the under 23 division. Power stays alive by fouling that off. Two down, nobody out. Top of the second inning. This is men's game number 3 of Softball Canada's men's championship. Of course, game number 1 never did get going last night. The Hallman Cubs and the Batmen were preempted, more so than rained out. Rain forcing a backup in the schedule, which bumped the Batmen and the Cubs until Thursday. Randerson bounces that one in. Power wasn't biting. The next game at Bud Park in the Masters division, scheduled for 12:30 this afternoon, will give you an update of what's happening in the Masters Championship during the half-inning break. Here's Anderson, and he's called. So strikeout looking, but a strikeout nonetheless. 6 up, 6 down, all by strikeout, and we move to the bottom of the second inning with the Toronto Batmen coming to the plate, due up Derek Hyde, Johnny Baker, and Ont1. So again, we're here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard, and you're watching the live stream from Conestoga College Digital TV. Meanwhile, at Bud Park, not here at Peter Hallman Ball Yard, but at Bud Park in Kitchener, we have one final in the Masters from today. The Grand Prairie Pirates out of Alberta defeated the Treaty 4 Snappers from Saskatchewan by a score of 4-3. The other game that's taking place at Bud Park as we speak, the Shakespeare Falcons, who lost their opening game last night, are leading the Saskatoon Brewers by a score of 4-1, and Shakespeare is at the plate in the bottom of the 4th inning. Shakespeare losing last night to Waterdown by a score of 1-0. Lots of things to update here. We'll go to the under 23 division when we return during the next half inning. The game you're watching now is pitting the Toronto Batmen against the Josh CollinsRacing Red of Newfoundland. We're scoreless in the bottom of the second inning. 3 finals this morning in the under 23 division. We'll bring them all to you in just a moment. Jordan Noftal gets a strike as he launches one in on Derek Hyde, who's the catcher. Hyde, a left-handed swinger, batting 7th in the lineup. Called strike 2. Chip just foul for strike 2. I think Newfoundland was thinking that might have been strike 3. Wednesday, August the 27th, we're at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard here in Kitchener. Sunny and cloudy day, cloud not obscuring the sun. Our forecast for tomorrow, as I told you earlier, not looking terrific. There's a ball that's high. Derek Hyde at the plate. Nobody on, nobody out. protect his swing. And the ball goes back to Noftel. Ground ball, chopped. Second baseman after it. Gets the throw, and it goes off the glove of the first baseman, Hamilton. O'Reilly got to it, but his throw to first went off the tip of the glove of Hamilton. And I'm not so sure that it wouldn't have been a hit otherwise. It was very, very close. Johnny Baker, I'm going to be a generous scorekeeper. And as Johnny Baker comes to the plate, the third baseman for the Batmen, I'm going to give a base hit on that, an infield hit at that. Noftel now will face Johnny Baker with one man on and nobody out. The Batmen threatened in the opening inning, leaving the bases loaded. Skelton at first, Benson at second, Pauly at third, but the uprising was quelled when Corey Way was struck out by Jordan Noftel. Baker grounds one back. Noftel looks at second, goes to first, and they get the putout. Not necessarily clean, and I'm not sure if the first baseman Hamilton touched the bag or the batter. But the runner, Derek Hyde, advances to second, and he's at second base with one man out. The number 9 batter for the Toronto Batmen is Ont1, the second baseman. Torrey, who also pitches. Pitched a lot of years for Shallow Lake in the junior divisions. Called strike one. Noftel now with the delivery. That's fouled off. So 2 strikes on Ont1 with one man on and one man out. Jordan Noftel, the pitcher, gave up 1 hit against in that first inning. An infield hit here. As Torrey hits it fair, the third baseman with a nice snap throw across. What an arm by Mark Stack at third base. 5-3 for the putout, and Hyde advances to third. Mitch McKay now will come to the plate. McKay 0 for 1. He flied out to the center fielder, Logan Power, in that first inning. McKay is the leadoff batter for the Batmen. For the second inning in a row, the Batmen have put a runner at third base, but we are scoreless with 2 out in the bottom of the second. Take strike one. Shortstop for Newfoundland, Justin Gill, a little bit deeper than his counterpart at second base, Jeremy O'Reilly. Thinking perhaps that a good swinger like McKay might be a little bit late on Noftel, and in fact, even though McKay is a left-handed swinger, he might be more prone to throw it to the left side of the infield. Gill almost back on the infield to the grass, now steps in 3 or 4 paces. 2 strikes on McKay. Scoreless game, runner at third. Noftel ended the first inning by striking out Corey Way with the bases loaded, looking to do likewise here. Noftel sets and delivers. There's a ball. Nice backhanded stab by the catcher, Brent Hatfield, in behind the plate for the Josh CollinsRacing Red today. McKay taking his time. The shortstop steps in for the Batmen. Noftel takes his place on the slab. Sets at the waist, chest waist, delivers, swing and a miss, and again a strikeout to end a threat. Jordan Noftel has 2 strikeouts in the ball game. Both of them have come with a runner at third base. So no runs. I'll give credit to Derek Hyde for an infield hit on a tough play for Jeremy O'Reilly at second base. No runs, 2 hits for the Toronto Batmen after 2. Nothing for the Josh Collins Racing Red. No runs, no hits through 2 complete innings. Top of the 3rd inning, Robbie Green, Joel Nash, and Brent Hatfield are the 3 batters for Newfoundland. The under-23 tournament taking a little bit of a break after 3 games this morning here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. The finals today, the Murno Newfoundland Mariners prevailed over the Delisle Pride with a walk-off in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lyndon Power, the hero in the game for 2 reasons. His defensive play for Murno was exceptional, and then he drove in the winning run, Mark Corbett, with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th inning. With the win, Murno moves to 2-3 on the tournament. Correction, Murno moves to 2-2. They had a game delayed or preempted by weather, so they're playing 3 times today. They will play Rostock and Tavistock later in the day. So Murno is at 2-2. Delisle, they fall to 2-3. The second game in the under-23 division this morning, the Tavistock Merchants blanked the Shallow Lake Sting by a score of 5-0. So with that win, the Tavistock Merchants, they move to 2-2. They'll play New Hamburg and then Murno later in the day. Shallow Lake, for their part, they fall to 1-4, and their next action is against Delisle at 1:15 this afternoon. And finally, in the under-23 this morning, the Rostock Junior Batmen prevailed, coming from behind, to beat Team Quebec by a score of 3-2. So Rostock moves to 5-0. They'll go against Murno at 1:30 this afternoon. For Quebec, that's another tough loss. They fall to 1-4, and they'll meet New Hamburg in their final game in the round robin, and that's scheduled for 5:30 at Peter Hallman on Diamond 3. Back to our action here. In the men's division, game number 3. The batter is Robbie Green. Green has 2 strikes on him. He's the designated player for the Josh Collins Racing Red. Tyler Randerson, the starter for the Toronto Batmen, has retired 6 up, 6 down through 2 innings, and remarkably, all 6 have been by strikeout. Newfoundland has not put bat to ball or put one into play. Swing and a miss, and down goes Green. 7 in a row struck out. Joel Nash, the right fielder now, will come to the plate against Randerson. With Randerson's dominance and the bottom of the order for the Josh Collins Racing Reds, you'd almost be tempted in the field to sit down. Shades of the king in his court. Joel Nash tried the bunt. The ball was by him for strike 1. Trying to make the Batman defense work. But Randerson's got everything in control. Nash fouls that one off. The infield defense for the Toronto Batmen, Andy Skelton is at first, Owen Torrey at second, Mitch McKay in the hole at shortstop, and at third base it's Johnny Baker. 2 strikes on Nash, the number 8 hitter in the Josh Collins Racing Red order. Randerson rears back looking for an 8th strikeout, and he gets it. To the credit of the Josh Collins Racing Red, while they have not touched a ball or put one into play, all but one have gone down swinging. Which brings us to the number 9 batter here in the lineup, and that's Brent Hatfield. Randerson looking to make it 9 in a row, all by strikeout. Nope, we got one. The number 9 hitter singles, and there goes the no-hitter. So Brent Hatfield put one between Skelton and Torrey, and we have a base runner in place. which brings us to the top of the order. Justin Gill to the plate. Gill 0 for 1 with a strikeout, just like everybody else. Gill is the shortstop.
We have a pinch runner.
Okay.
74. Oh, it must be a catcher. Pitcher.
Joel Nash is going to run at first base as Gill comes to the plate. Here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard, we had 3 games in the under-23 division today. Now we've got 3 games in the men's division. And the Souk Loggers are off to a great start. We'll update those scores during the next half-inning break. We're in the top of the 3rd inning, 2 out, 1 on. The Josh CollinsRacing Red at the plate, in against the Toronto Batmen. First action for both teams. Again, the Batmen were here in the ballpark last night, but never got the opportunity to play. Gill takes a strike. Just doing a little technical update here with Trevor. Justin Gill is at the plate. Joel Nash running for Brent Hatfield is at first base. 2 down, 1 on. Tyler Anderson, who has been in command, with the exception of the one poke, which was perfectly poked through the infield. Fouled off by Gill. Beautiful sunny afternoon, I can say now, as we just drift by 12 o'clock. Some clouds in the sky, but they are not threatening in any way, shape, or form. It's a lovely summer afternoon here in Kitchener, as Kitchener Fastball Promotions presents the Softball Canada Men's Championships at this moment. Swing and a miss, and that's the inning. 9th strikeout for Tyler Anderson. No runs, 1 hit, though, for the Josh CollinsRacing Red. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd, Tyler Pauly, Denny Benson, and Andy Skelton due up for the Batmen. So here are the other scores in the men's division. While we're scoreless here, there are 2 other games taking place at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard on the other 2 diamonds. The East Hants Mastodons and the Waterdown Hammer, they are playing, and currently they are tied at 1 in the top of the 5th inning. That game has moved along at a very rapid pace. They started 15, maybe 20 minutes before this one did. Meanwhile, the BC Souk Loggers are off to a tremendous start against the Mixburg Twins. Souk leading 5-0 in the top of the 2nd inning batting. So a good start by Souk BC. Trevor is going to give me updates. Are you going to another diamond, Trevor? Or?
I'll be on Diamond 2.
Diamond 2. Very good. We'll go back and check in on the Masters during the next half inning. We do want to thank all of the sponsors of and supporters of Kitchener Fastball Promotions. Those supporters include the City of Waterloo and Molson Coors, which I think are doing a bang-up business here in the ballpark, which is great. Summer day at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Wednesday, August the 27th. Masters at Bud Park. Men's currently at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard where we are. And also at the Ball Yard, we'll have under 23 action in about 90 minutes time. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Tyler Pauly up for the Batmen. He singled in his first opportunity. Was stranded at 3rd when Jordan Noftel struck out the final man. 2 strikes now. We thank everybody for watching us on CCDTV. That's Conestoga College Digital TV. Joining us on softball.ca, on YouTube. And again, you can always follow along on Game Changer as well. Tyler Pauly with 2 strikes on him. Left-handed swinger. And he really cracked this one. He basically put it down to the industrial site. Way foul, but lots of zip on it. Nofdahl has not been touched for a run. He's given up 2 hits. One of them, though, the infield variety that just went off the glove, or that the runner managed to beat it out. This one, he stays fair. Skied into right field in foul territory. Running across to make the catch is the right fielder, Joel Nash. Denny Benson will come to the plate. The right fielder, 0 for 1. He got aboard by error on in the first inning. 1 down, nobody on. Nofdahl brings in a foul ball and likes the ball that he has. Jordan Nofdahl, right-hander for the Newfoundland-based Josh Collins Racing Red. Swing and a miss by Benson. Benson was left stranded at second as part of that bases-loaded jam that Nofdahl pitched out of in the first inning. Here we are in the bottom of the third in a scoreless game. Benson thought about it, but the ball was low. Swing and a miss by Denny Benson. Ball there. Andy Skelton on deck for the Batmen. This one is drilled, and there's a base hit. So Denny Benson in the number 3 hole for the Batmen is aboard for the second time in the ball game. Andy Skelton, who popped up to the shortstop, Justin Gill, is now up cleanup hitter for the Toronto Batmen. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the third inning here in game number 3 in the men's division. 3 games taking place as we speak here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Skelton will foul off the first one for a 1-strike count. Something tells me I better plug in my precious phone or we won't have any updates. There we go. That's a sound I like to hear. Fouled away, and very quickly 2 strikes. Nofdahl up on the batter, Andy Skelton. Cody Skelton is on deck. He walked in his first at bat. The infield for the Josh Collins Racing Red: Hamilton at first, Jeremy O'Reilly at second, Mark Stack at third, and in between at shortstop is Justin Gill. This one is launched into right center. The right fielder is going to pick it up and get it in. So first and third will be the situation there, as scampering after it was Joel Nash, who made a nice play to get it back into the infield in rapid fashion. But Benson was able to scoot around to third base. So there's 2 men on and only 1 man out. We go from Andy Skelton to Cody Skelton, the designated player. Take strike 1. When he's needed to, Nofdahl has been able to bear down and get the strikeout. He struck out Corey Way with the bases loaded to end the first. He struck out Mitch McKay with a runner at third to end the second. And now with runners at first and third, he's got 2 strikes on Cody Skelton. Skelton stays alive by fouling that one off. Which ball does Justin Nofto want? Jordan Nofto want. His catcher Hatfield gave him an option. He made his choice, and now with 2 strikes, no balls, he will come again to Cody Skelton. 1 away, runners at first and third. That one's low. Good waste pitch. Skelton gets his thoughts collected, gets into the batter's box. Left-handed swinger. Ground ball, and it's called fair. So there's our first run. Skelton will knock it in. Hamilton makes the putout. Scoring the run is Denny Benson. And Andy Skelton moves to second. 1-0 Batman. There was really nothing that the first baseman for Josh CollinsRacing Red, Jordan Hamilton, could do. If he waited another fraction to see if it would go foul, it was going down the right field line. And it was, in fact, a fair ball. Touched first, but not in enough time to get the runner at the plate. This one is pounded into the ground. It will be fair, or pardon me, it will be foul. As third baseman for Newfoundland, Mark Stack handles it. The outfield for the Josh CollinsRacing Reds, Gerald Wall is in left, Logan Power is in center, and Joel Nash is in right. Here's Corey Way, struck out to end the first inning. 1-0, the Batmen lead. Swing and a miss. Andy Skelton at second with 2 men out. The Batmen have had runners on base in every inning. Loaded the bases in the first. This one is drilled to left field, but the left fielder is out there, and a catch by Gerald Wall to end the threat. 1 run. The Batmen got 2 more hits, and they have 4 hits through 3 innings. We go to the top of the 4th inning here with the Josh CollinsRacing Red coming to the plate, trailing by a score of 1-0. Let's go over to Bud Park. Again, a final this morning. The Grand Prairie Pirates win their first game, beating the Treaty 4 Snappers out of Saskatchewan, 4-3 the final there. Meanwhile, the game that is in progress now at Bud Park is in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Shakespeare Falcons are on top of the Saskatoon Brewers, 6-4. Shakespeare lost their opening game to Waterdown 1-0 in brackets, extra innings. They only played 5 innings in the game last night because of the weather, because of the scheduling, etc., etc. But they lost it in extra innings to Waterdown 1-0. They lead 6-4 in the bottom of the 5th. Shakespeare has a runner at first with 1 man out. The next game at Bud Park is scheduled to start at 12:30. It will probably be pushed back a little bit later than that. The Treaty 4 Snappers at 0-1 will go against the Huron County Angels. The Angels were decimated last night by the defending champions from Cobourg, who beat them 16-3. Here in the men's division, you're watching the Toronto Batmen with a 1-0 lead over the Josh CollinsRacing Red. One of 3 games taking place at this time. Quick update on the men's here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. The East Hants Mastodons and Waterdown Hammer are tied at 1. And the Souk Loggers out of British Columbia lead the Mixburg Twins 5-0. While we have a second, we'll do a quick update here to make sure those are accurate. The Mastodons and Hammer are tied at 1. And Souk, British Columbia, the Loggers, do lead the Twins 5-0. So those are your updates of the 4 ball games that are taking place at this time. It's an active time for Softball Canada. Gerald Wall bunts it down the third base line, but it goes foul. Wall, and this may sound like the broken record, the proverbial broken record, but Jared Wall, like everybody else, struck out who went out. The only exception And the 9 batters for the Josh Collins Racing Red was Brent Hatfield, the catcher, who singled with 2 out in the 3rd. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Josh Collins Racing Red down 1-0 against the Toronto Batmen. 1 strike on Wall, who bunted it foul. Takes ball 1. Ground ball, that's fair. And I'm going to give a hit on that one as Wall hit it. And it was a really tough play at third base for the Batman. Johnny Baker got to it but stumbled. And I don't know that he would have had a play. The ball basically ran parallel with the third base line. Baker came over to his backhand, stumbled, and could not get it across. Mark Stack comes to the plate for the Racing Red. Struck out to end the 1st inning. 2nd hit for the Racing Red. Stack attempted to bunt. Almost looked as if his bat was on fire as the pitch came in. Somewhat hesitant. But this is a tribute to Tyler Anderson that your number 3 hitter is thinking about bunting to move the runner along in a 1-run ball game here in the 4th. This one's fouled for strike 2. Hey, how you doing? Good. Kirk Lachenbauer coming to join us here. And I have the good smell of Montana's. We want to thank Montana's for feeding us during the course of the ball games. Timing's everything, Trevor. This one is slammed into center field. It's deep and gone. Mark Stack has homered, and that has given the Racing Red a 2-1 lead here in the 2nd inning. Pardon me, in the 4th inning. Kirk, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. For lunch.
Oh, no, thank Montana.
Okay, thank Montana. Well, thank you for on behalf of Montana. Well, thanks again, Kirk. Lunch delivered here at the crack of 12:20. Jeremy O'Reilly is the batter, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Josh Collins Racing Red. Mark Stack putting one out, quite likely in the deepest part of the ballpark, in deep center to the left side. (2-1) is the score for the Racing Red. Fouled away by the cleanup hitter O'Reilly, the second baseman. Nobody on, nobody out, but 2 runs in. Just an example of how tight this tournament will be. The Josh Collins Racing Red had mustered nothing against Tyler Anderson. Wall got on a really tight play, a tough play for Johnny Baker. Swing and a miss by O'Reilly. And then Stack, who didn't look good attempting to bunt, followed that up with a smash over the outfield fence to make it a 2-1 ball game. Offered at it. And there is strike 3. O'Reilly didn't attempt to run, thinking that maybe that was going to be called a ball. And he goes down. Jordan Hamilton, the first baseman, comes to the plate, 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the 2nd inning. The Josh Collins Racing Red have given themselves a 2-1 lead here in the top of the 4th inning as we approach the midway point of the ball game. Hamilton swings through for strike 1. Hamilton will take ball one. One out here in the top of the fourth inning. Two-run homer by Mark Stack has given the Josh Collins Racing Red the 2-1 lead. Swing and a miss. One of two Newfoundland teams in the men's division. The Galway Hitmen are the other team in the men's division. And again, we're trying to juggle and sort through three different tournaments here. Swing and a miss. And for the second time, Jordan Hamilton goes down swinging. He was strikeout victim number 5 and number 11. All 11 outs to this point have been strikeouts for Tyler Randerson. Logan Power will come to the plate. The Racing Red do have 3 hits. Single by Brett Hatfield, single by Gerald Wall, and the 2-run homer by Mark Stack. Two-1 is our score. Top of the fourth inning. The Josh Collins Racing Red at the plate. We're at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard under conditions that for late August would be deemed to be perfect for fastball. With the rain yesterday, I don't know that the outfield grass could be any greener. Well manicured parks here in Kitchener. Logan Power, did he offer at it? Nope, says the first base umpire. On deck is Robbie Green. Power struck out, like everybody. Struck out looking, though. That's the distinction that separated him from most of the Racing Red. Swing and a miss. Granderson looking to make it 12 strikeouts here. Doesn't get the call. Next action for the Josh Collins Racing Red will be this afternoon at 4 o'clock when they will go against their Eastern Canadian rivals, the East Hants Mastodons out of Nova Scotia. Granderson sets and rocks and delivers. So a good battle at the plate from Logan Power, the center fielder for the Josh Collins Racing Red. And he walks him. First walk of the game given up by Randerson. And Robbie Green comes to the plate. Green 0 for 1. Stop me if you've heard this before. Struck out swinging back in the third inning. In fact, the first 8 batters all went down on strikes before Brent Hatfield would get a single. But the Racing Red have put 2 on the board this inning on the 2-run homer from Mark Stack. Swing and a miss. Powerful swing by Green on a ball that might have been up and out of the strike zone. The game between East Hants Mastodons and the Waterdown Hammer is in the bottom of the 6th inning. We're in the top of the 4th. So we're moving rapidly, our East Hants and Waterdown. Green, a right-handed swinger. He's the designated player for the Josh Collins Racing Red. Swing and a miss, and that will end the inning. 12th strikeout for Randerson, but the Josh Collins Racing Red get 2 hits and put 2 runs on the board, highlighted by the 2-run homer by Mark Stack. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Due up for the Toronto Batmen, who are down, is the bottom third of the order. Derek Hyde, the catcher, Johnny Baker, the third baseman, and Owen Torrey, the second baseman. Just saw Kirk Lachenbauer come up and join us. Kirk, one of many that are connected to the Kitchener Fastball Promotions, who are putting on the Softball Canada Men's, the Softball Canada's Masters, and the Softball Canada U23 tournaments. I know Kirk would want us to thank all of those who have supported him. That includes Montana's Cookhouse, and I'm not sure you can smell it through the microphone, but it does smell great, along with McCarter Grespin Lawyers, who are members and supporters of the Kitchener Fastball Promotions. Drifting over to the under 23, we will tell you that today is the final day of the round robin. By the end of the day, all 7 teams will have completed their round robin and played 6 games. The potential does exist for a tie-breaking game tomorrow to determine who will get into 6th. There is that possibility. Quebec and Shallow Lake in that kind of territory. Quebec has beaten Shallow Lake, but you cannot be eliminated by head-to-head. You have to be eliminated basically on the field by play. Aside from the potential of a tiebreaker, there are 3 games scheduled for tomorrow here at Peter Hallman Ballyard. Strike 1 called to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning, Derek Hyde. We have games scheduled tomorrow morning in the under 23 at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 1:15 in the afternoon, and then the semifinal game at 3 o'clock. The bronze medal game and the championship games will go on Friday. Back to the action here in the men's division. Derek Hyde, the catcher, puts one to the second baseman. O'Reilly is there. Backhanded throw. Not necessarily out of the textbook, but O'Reilly was drifting to his left and didn't stop and pivot, but rather pulled the ball out of his glove and fired almost a shovel pass to the first baseman, Hamilton, for the putout. 1 down, which brings Johnny Baker to the plate. He was put out pitcher to first in his first attempt. Takes a ball. Ball 2. Baker, the third baseman, up for the Batmen, who are trying to get something going here. Just doing some quick tabulations for the under 23 division. We'll get to those a little later in this ball game. Take a look at our standings going to this afternoon. Once again, Baker taps back to Noftel, and for the second time in the ball game, he goes 1-3. Noftel getting it across to Hamilton. Owen Torrey comes to the plate now with 2 men down for the Batmen in the bottom of the 4th inning. Torrey is 0 for 1. Owen grounded out to the third baseman for Newfoundland, hitting one that Mark Stack was able to make the play on a strong throw across. Hard off the glove, goes across, and once again handling it is Stack, but he cannot make the play. A hard hit by Owen Torrey goes off the glove of Jordan Noftel. It deflects over to Mark Stack. Stack valiantly tried to make the play, but then realized he just couldn't get the handle on it. 5th hit of the ball game for the Toronto Batmen. They've had runners on base in every inning. Bases loaded in the first. Runners stranded at third in the second. This is singled into left field, and once again the Batmen will get a man to third. Base hit by Mitch McKay. Torrey goes to third on the single. So in every inning, the Batmen have had a man at third base. Benson would come around to score for their only run. Jordan Noftel has 2 outs. And this is where he's been very tough, striking out Corey Way to end the first inning, striking out Mitch McKay to end the second inning. 2 men on, first and third. McKay at first, Torrey at third. Pauly with a single, and he popped out foul, or flied out foul, down the right field line. Grounds it. Hamilton will play it in fair territory, but it's deemed to be a foul ball. Pauly trying to walk it off. That's a tough break for Newfoundland because that would have been an easy third out and would have allowed them to go into the 5th inning with the 2-1 lead. 1 run, 6 hits for the Toronto Batmen. 1 strike on Tyler Pauly. Pauly, the center fielder for the Toronto Batmen. Noftel taking a little bit of time here. Runner is going. The throw down, and it's a double steal, and it's effective for Toronto. So we've got a tie ball game as Owen Torrey comes into play on the double steal. I'm a little surprised that Newfoundland threw. McKay ends up at third base now, and so the threat is heightened. The catcher, Brent Hatfield, threw down to second, and I'm not even sure that they were attempting to get the runner at second, but rather hoping that it would come back for a play at the plate. There's a ball that gets away on a third strike, and the Batmen will score another run. So Noftel did get the strikeout, his third of the game, but that puts Pauly at first base. So with 2 men out in the bottom of the 4th inning, Torrey gets things started with a base hit, comes around to score, scoring on the double steal. That play allowed Mitch McKay to get to third, and he comes in on the pass ball. Denny Benson now. He skies one. This might hit a drone, it's up that high. Noftel comes over and spears it for the putout. But the Toronto Batmen get 2 runs. They had 2 more hits. And after 4 complete innings, the Batmen lead it by a score of 3-2. Toronto with 6 hits in the ball game. Newfoundland 2 runs on 3 hits. 5th inning of play. Let's do a quick checkup on what's happening elsewhere in the men's division here at Softball Canada's 2025 Championship men's division, which is put on by the Kitchener Fastball Promotions. The East Hants Mastodons and Waterdown Hammer are in the top of the 7th inning in a 1-1 game. The Mastodons have a runner at first with nobody out, and again that's top of the 7th inning. Meanwhile, the Souk Loggers and the Micksburg Twins, that one's somewhat one-sided, as Souk is leading 7-0 midway through the 3rd inning. Micksburg coming to the plate, the Twins down by 7. During the next half-inning break, we'll go and see what's happening elsewhere in the Masters division. The Saskatoon Brewers are playing the Shakespeare Falcons. For the Brewers, this is their first game, if I'm not mistaken. Shakespeare 0-1, and they have the lead at last check. Let's make sure I'm accurate on this. Yeah, for the Saskatoon Brewers, this is their first game. Shakespeare has 1 game in. 7 teams in under 23, 7 teams in the Masters, 10 teams here in the men's division. Joel Nash The right fielder will lead it off for Josh Collins Racing Red. They're down 3-2 here in the top of the 5th inning. 2 runs in the 4th off Tyler Randerson. Fouled away. Nash, Hatfield, and Justin Gill due up for the Racing Red. The outfield alignment for the Toronto Batmen: Corey Way is in left field, Tyler Pauley in center field, and Denny Benson is in right. We're at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard in Kitchener on a great afternoon, a little bit after 12:30 our time here. I know for those of you that are following Sauk, British Columbia, the Loggers, it's only 9:30 where you are. And for those of you in Newfoundland, I guess it's 2 in the afternoon. Swing and a miss by Nash. And he strikes out. I don't think Nash knows that he struck out. In fact, he had me fooled for just a second. 13 strikeouts in the ball game. Every out for the Josh Collins Racing Red has been a strikeout. They do have 3 hits. The man at the plate now, Brent Hatfield, spoiled Granderson's run of 8 straight strikeouts with a single in the bottom of the 3rd, top of the 3rd. But 13 outs in the ball game, all of them by strikeout. Batman leading 3-2. Top of the 5th inning in game number 3 in the men's division. Again, the men and the under 23 are playing here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Bud Park is hosting the others. Randerson looks in at Hatfield, fires it high. Called strike on Hatfield. 1 down, nobody on. Batman with the 3-2 lead. Batman led 1-0. Josh Collins Racing Red took a 2-1 lead. And the Batmen have come back to take a 3-2 lead. And so for the second time in the ball game, Hatfield is on. Second walk issued by Tyler Randerson, which turns the roster over, and Justin Gill, the shortstop, is now up for the Josh Collins Racing Red. Gill is 0 for 2 in the ball game, struck out to lead off the top of the 1st inning, struck out to end the top of the 3rd inning. Called strike. Again, the next action for the Racing Red will be this afternoon at 4 o'clock when they go against the East Hants Mastodons. Offered on the bunt, fouled it off. So very quickly, Randerson has 2 strikes on Justin Gill, the shortstop. Brent Hatfield is at first with one man out. Teammates imploring Randerson to get strikeout number 14. He's got lucky 13 already. Fired it high. Gill wasn't buying. The men's tournament and the Masters tournament, kind of like a soft opening last night. Full activity today. Touched by Gill, that's foul. Tomorrow, Friday, playoffs on Saturday, and then the championship games in both of those divisions are coming up on Sunday. As for the U23 division, they wrap up the round robin today. The playoff round will go tomorrow with 4 games, and then the bronze medal game and the gold medal game will be coming up on Friday. Conversation at the mound. Randerson and Derek Hyde having a conversation. That's been settled. Gill has 2 strikes on him, 1 ball. Hatfield the catcher at first. 1 away, top of the 5th inning. Swing and a miss, and for the 3rd time in the ball game, Justin Gill goes down. 14 strikeouts for Randerson. Brings Jared Wall to the plate. Wall singled and scored in the 4th inning to tie the game. He scored on the 2-run homer by Mark Stack. 3-2 is the score for the Toronto Batmen. They're leading over the Josh Collins Racing Red. Wall stands in. Randerson sets. Time is called. Ball 1 to Gerald Wall. We mentioned the Josh Collins Racing Red will play later in the day against East Hants. For Toronto, they will have an All-Ontario matchup when they meet the Waterdown Hammer later in the day. Waterdown in action this hour. Gerald Wall in at the plate. Takes ball 2. Waterdown playing with East Hants. They were in a 1-1 tie the last time we checked. Lots of activity on a Wednesday afternoon in Kitchener. So Randerson has fallen behind 3-0. He has walked 2 batters in the ball game. He walked Logan Power in the 4th, and Hatfield, who is currently on first, got aboard with a walk. Given up 3 hits, the biggest, the 2-run homer by Mark Stack. Stack is on deck. The 3rd walk of the game, Gerald Wall goes to first. That moves Brent Hatfield to second. Hatfield has been replaced by a pinch runner, Hatfield the catcher. And here is Mark Stack, who has a 2-run homer to his credit. If he could poke one here, it would be a 3-run homer and would once again restore a lead for the Racing Red. Swing and a miss. Stack struck out to end the 1st inning, 3rd strikeout victim for Tyler Randerson, then homered in the 4th with Gerald Wall aboard to give the Racing Red a 2-1 lead. The Batmen would score twice in the bottom of the 4th to take back the lead at 3-2, which is where we stand. This one is cracked, but it's high. Is it going to find a space? The left fielder comes over to make the catch. Corey Way running across to grab it in front of the center fielder, Tyler Pauley. So the Racing Red are denied. They did not get a run. They did not get a hit, but they left 2 men on base. And we move to the bottom of the 5th inning, and it will be Andy Skelton, Cody Skelton, and Corey Way coming to the plate. So let's go over to Bud Park, where we had one final today. The Grand Prairie Pirates scored a 4-3 victory over the Treaty 4 Snappers out of Saskatchewan. So Grand Prairie starts the Masters at 1-0. Saskatoon, the Treaty 4 Snappers, they're 0-1. The Saskatoon Brewers are playing the Shakespeare Falcons. That game at Bud Park is in the top of the 7th inning, and the Brewers are having a tremendous rally. They were down 7-4 to the Shakespeare Falcons, but they now lead it 8-7 in the top of the 7th with 1 man out, and Saskatoon has 2 men on base. So Shakespeare, trying to avoid falling to an 0-2 start, have surrendered a 7-4 lead and will be coming to the plate trailing in the bottom of the last inning. We can update the men's scores now while we have a minute between games. 3-2 for the Toronto Batmen here. The East Hants Mastodons have taken a 4-1 lead over the Waterdown Hammer. The Mastodons have that lead, and they're at the plate in the top of the 7th inning. East Hants 4, Mastodons leading the Waterdown Hammer 4-1 after 6.5. So Waterdown coming to the plate, and they're trailing 4-1, needing a rally for the victory. And in the other men's game that's taking place, the BC Souk Loggers have a 7-0 lead in the top of the 4th inning. They're at the plate with 2 men out against the Mixburg Twins. So those are your updates from the men's division. Souk may be on the virtue of scoring a mercy victory. East Hants on the verge of maybe nailing it down in the 7th. And here we go to the bottom of the 5th inning in a 3-2 game where the Toronto Batmen have the lead. Jordan Oftel still on the mound, or on the circle, in the circle, for the Josh CollinsRacing Red. The batter is Andy Skelton. Skelton takes that for strike 1. Skelton had a single in the 3rd inning. This Toronto got on the board, but was left at second. Andy Skelton, then Cody Skelton, and then Corey Way. This has popped way, way up. Coming under it is Jeremy O'Reilly, and the second baseman will make the putout. Cody Skelton coming to the plate now. Cody Skelton on the game is 0 for 1 with an RBI. He walked in the 1st inning, and in the 3rd, he drove in Denny Benson with a ground out to the first baseman, Hamilton. Called strike on Cody. 1 away, bottom of the 5th. Toronto at the plate. The Batmen lead it 3-2 over the Josh CollinsRacing Red. There's a ball. We want to thank Game Changer for all of the updates and all of the scorekeepers who are keeping us up to date. Called strike 2. Cody's going to have a little bit of a conversation. With 1 man down, nobody on. Bottom of the 5th inning. Toronto Batman at the plate. Here's my buddy Bernie coming in. How are you, Bernie?
Oh, I couldn't be better.
Good stuff. Did you have as much trouble falling asleep as I did last night?
Yes.
I went out. I don't even think the head hit the pillow. Skelton at the plate. And I think Newfoundland wanted that pitch. Cody Skelton walks. And that's the second walk of the game. Both of them have been to Cody Skelton. So he's at first base with 1 out. Corey Way, who's 0 for 2, comes to the plate for the Batmen. The Toronto Batmen have the lead, 3-2, and a runner on here in the bottom of the 5th. Pounded. Almost to the other diamond. 2-run homer for Corey Way. 2-run homer drives in Cody Skelton, and the Batmen now have taken a 5-2 lead. Way batting out of the number 6 position was 0 for 2 in the ball game, albeit he did fly out to left field. And that one, the left fielder could have got it if he was playing first base at the second diamond. That one was blasted. For the Batmen, they truly are. They have had runners to third base in every inning. Bases loaded in the first. Hyde was stranded at third in the second. They scored a run and left a runner at second in the third. They scored twice in the fourth, and now have scored twice here in the 5th. 5-2 for the Batmen. Line drive right back to Noftel, and he makes the putout of Derek Hyde. Johnny Baker comes to the plate now. Baker 0 for 2 in the ball game, and I'm sure Noftel is ready because in his first 2 appearances, he's bounced back to the pitcher. 2 away, 2 in. Bottom of the 5th inning, 5-2 lead for the Toronto Batmen. I've gotten so used to saying the Rostock Junior Batmen that junior just keeps creeping into my discussion. But these are not juniors. They are in the men's division. Game number 3 in the men's divisions. Little bit of activity for Newfoundland in their warm-up area as Baker misses that one. Getting some warm-up throws in for Newfoundland. It's number 44. That's Robbie Green. So Green is doing some warm-up tosses down the first base line. Green is the designated player in this ball game and will come in should Noftel falter. Baker taps this one, and it goes down the third base line. In between innings, we'll do an update of the standings for the under-23 division, which will be resuming shortly. Baker gets called out looking, and in terms of strikeouts in the ball game, that's the third for Jordan Noftel. But the Batmen put up 2 more runs. They got just 1 hit, that being the 2-run homer from Corey Way. 5-2 is the score as we go to the 6th inning with the Josh CollinsRacing Red trailing and coming to the plate. All right, here are our standings in the under-23 division, as almost every team is going to their final round-robin game this afternoon. The Rostock Junior Batmen are perfect at 5-0. They beat Quebec and come from behind fashion this morning. So they are first at 5-1. The New Hamburg Mustangs are second at 3-1. New Hamburg will be playing this afternoon and then again early this evening to wrap up their round robin. The host team, the Tavistock Merchants, are 2-2. They have a makeup game to be played against Murno. Murno is also 2-2, so that game conceivably could decide third place. The Delisle Pride have fallen into 5th place. They're at 2-3 with 1 game to play. The Quebec team is 1-4, and Shallow Lake is 1-4. So those two teams are tied for the final playoff position. And again, you cannot be eliminated by tiebreaker formula. So it's conceivable that Shallow Lake and Quebec could have a game tomorrow for a tiebreaker, as if both teams end up 1-5. So that's the updated standings in the under-23 division. Looking at the schedule, the next games are scheduled for approximately sometime in the next half hour. I won't give you the times because we'll be a little backed up as we're just in the 6th inning here. Delisle against Shallow Lake, Monroe against Rostock, and New Hamburg against Tavistock. Leading off in the 6th, this is the second baseman, Jeremy O'Reilly. O'Reilly swings and misses. Delisle against Shallow Lake. Delisle is 2-3. Shallow Lake is 1-4. Murno against Rostock. Murno is 2-2. Rostock undefeated at 5-0. New Hamburg against Tavistock. New Hamburg is sitting at 3-1, and Tavistock with a record of 2-2. Swing and a miss by O'Reilly. So those are your updates for the men's division. Pardon me, for the under-23 men's division. Jeremy O'Reilly at the plate. Takes that for a ball. In the men's divisions, we've got 3 games taking place now. At 3:15 approximately this afternoon here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard, the Saskatoon Jacks will go against the Bear Creek Express. Scheduled for 3:45, the defending champion, the Galway Hitmen, against the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. And scheduled for 4 o'clock, the Josh Collins Racing Red to go against the East Hants Mastodons. The Reds in action currently, trailing 5-2 in the 6th. Jeremy O'Reilly at the plate. Meanwhile, East Hants are playing against the Waterdown Hammer. O'Reilly hanging tough. East Hants has won their game, beating the Waterdown Hammer 4-1. So there's our first final in the men's division today. Ball game that you're watching here, courtesy of Conestoga College Digital TV, has the Toronto Batmen in front of the Josh Collins Racing Red, 5-2 in the top of the 6th inning. Tyler Randerson is the pitcher for the Toronto Batmen. He is, of the 15 outs, he struck out 14. And the only other fielder to touch the ball was Corey Way, the left fielder, who made the last putout in the bottom of the 5th, or top of the 5th, and then followed in the bottom of the 5th with a 2-run homer. O'Reilly hanging tight. There's a ball. In terms of walks, Randerson has walked 3 in the ball game, all of them in the last 2 innings. Walking Power in the 4th, Hatfield and Wall in the 5th. Trying to bear down here against the cleanup hitter O'Reilly, the second baseman. O'Reilly trying to get something ignited here. Takes strike 3. 15 strikeouts on the game for Tyler Randerson. 3 times he's got Jeremy O'Reilly. Jordan Hamilton, the first baseman, to the plate. Struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Struck out swinging in the 4th inning. Victim number 5 and victim number 11 of the 15 strikeouts for Randerson. Check swing. No appeal. Number 7, Jordan Hamilton, the first baseman for the Josh Collins Racing Red. This one is tapped. Randerson will pick it up. Can he help his own cause? Throws to first. And the putout. So Randerson didn't strike out O'Reilly, but he made a very cat-like defensive play to get to the ball. And as he ran across the first base line, threw it down the line to Skelton, who made the putout. Logan Power comes to the plate. Power walked in the 4th inning, struck out back in the 2nd inning. 2 down, nobody on, top of the 6th inning. The Josh Collins Racing Red trailing by a score of 5-2 here in game number 3 of Softball Canada's men's event being put on by the Kitchener Fastball Promotion. Swing and a miss there by Power. Randerson starts on the left side of the slab, rocks, and fires. Ground ball. Baker will scoop it up, gets it across to Skelton for the 5-3 putout. That ends the inning for the Josh Collins Racing Red. No runs, no hits. They trail 5-2 going to the bottom of the 6th inning against the Toronto Batmen. For the Racing Red in the game, 2 runs, 3 hits. The Batmen coming to the plate. They've got 5 runs on 7 hits. One of which was the 2-run homer by Corey Way. Kitchener Fastball Promotion proud to host this event, like many other events through the course of the year, and looking ahead to some fabulous events here in Kitchener. They want to thank all of their sponsors and all of those that have contributed to the tournament, which includes MHBC, McNaughton, Hermson, Britton Clarkson Planning Limited, for their support of the tournament, and also with much thanks to the City of Kitchener, in particular to those in the Parks Department and the grounds crew here. I think we might have a new pitcher for the Racing Red, and we do. I believe this is number 44, Robbie Green. Turn your back, Robbie. Yep, 44. So he will come on to pitch here in the bottom of the 6th. Owen Torrey, Mitch McKay, and Tyler Pauly due up. Final score in the men's division, the East Hants Mastodons of Nova Scotia defeated Ontario 3, that being the Waterdown Hammer 4-1. So the Mastodons start at 1-0, the Hammer start at 0-1. Our game, as you know, the Toronto Batmen are leading the Josh Collins Racing Red 5-2. And we're on the verge of a mercy in the other game. Bottom of the 5th inning, Mixburg is trailing the Souk Loggers out of British Columbia 7-0. Nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. If it stays this way, that will be a mercy victory for the Souk Loggers if they can get 3 more putouts. So we'll go back to that score at the completion of this half inning. Courtesy of Conestoga College Digital TV, you're watching Softball Canada's Men's Fastball Championship. We have done almost exclusively the under-23 division to this point in the tournament. It's our first look at the men, and it's been a pretty good look in this ball game. Owen Torrey takes strike 1 on the first delivery from Robbie Green. Torrey grounds it to the third baseman, and the throw across from Mark Stack is good, and there's 1 down. The book on Jordan Noftel, he gave up 5 runs over 5 innings, gave up 7 hits. The biggest hit was the 2-run homer by Corey Way that turned a 3-2 game into a 5-2 game. Otherwise, he got nicked for a lot of singles in the ball game. Single, infield hit, single, single, single. Now up the top of the order for the Toronto Batmen, Mitch McKay. Called strike. So of the 7 hits off of Noftel, 6 of them were for singles. Corey Way launched the other one out of the ballpark. Noftel giving away to Robbie Green. Green was the designated player. Now comes in to pitch. Mitch McKay at the plate. Batmen lead it by 3. It's 5-2. Bottom of the 6th inning. Ground ball. Shortstop Gill will scoop it up lovely and fire it across in plenty of time. Not sure how many times Justin Gill has done that, but that was just like brushing his teeth out there, scooping up that ball. Tyler Pauly to the plate now for the Toronto Batmen. They've got the 3-run lead at 5-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pauly singled in the first but was stranded at third. He popped out in foul territory to the right fielder in the third. Got on board in the fourth after he struck out, but the ball got through the catcher, and he remained stranded at first. So Pauly in the number 2 slot is 1 for 3. Green trying to stop things up here and give his team a chance to come through in the top of the 7th inning. This is skied. That might go into the cloud. O'Reilly after it. He's going to give way to the right fielder, and coming in to make that play is Joel Nash. Way up there. No runs, no hits for the Batmen, and they'll try and nail it down here in the top of the 7th inning. Let's go back to the Souk Loggers and Micksburg Twins. At last check, they were in the top of the 7th inning, bottom of the 5th inning, with Souk leading 7-0. There are 2 men out for the Micksburg Twins, so 1 more out, and Souk will win that one by mercy, 7-0. Let's check again. Coming up next, we'll go back to the under-23 division. We told you about the games coming up there. So when next we see the men's here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard, it will be the Saskatoon Jacks against the Bear Creek Express, scheduled for 3:15. And again, schedules can be backed up based on the length of time the previous game takes. 3:45 scheduled time. The Galway Hitmen, who are the defending champions, will go against the host Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. And then the third game, scheduled for 4 o'clock here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard, the Josh Collins Racing Red will be back in action against the East Hants Mastodons. The Mastodons are 1-0 after winning 4-1 over the Waterdown Hammer. Next action for the Hammer is scheduled for 6 p.m. tonight, when they will go against the Toronto Batmen. The Batmen are in the game that you're watching now and are on the verge of nailing it down, leading 5-2, with the bottom third of the Josh Collins Racing Red order coming to the plate. Robbie Green, the pitcher, will lead it off, Joel Nash, the right fielder, and then Brent Hatfield. Now, in fairness to Brent Hatfield, he's been on both times that he's been to the plate today. Pretty impressive performance from Tyler Randerson. Of the 18 outs in the ball game, he struck out 15. Corey Way made a catch in left field. Johnny Baker made a nice play at third base to end the last inning. And Randerson himself got the assist on a 1-3 putout of Jordan Hamilton. Here's Robbie Green. Right-handed swinger against Granderson. Green is 0 for 2 in the ball game. You might guess that he struck out twice, and you would be right. Victim number 7 and victim number 12 of Tyler Anderson. Batmen looking to nail it down here in the 7th. Called strike. People scattered all over the ballpark. It's great to see. This one is launched, but the left fielder Way is back and will make the catch. So Robbie Green gave it a ride, but Corey Way was able to ride after it and get the putout. Joel Nash to the plate. He, like most of the members of the Josh Collins Racing Red, has struck out twice tonight. Struck out in the 3rd inning. Struck out again in the 5th. And I'll correct myself, it's definitely not night. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Kitchener. Victim number 8 and victim number 13 for Tyler Anderson. Batting 8th in the lineup. Nash swings and misses. I'm going to assume the Souk Loggers have won by default. Game Changer says top of the 6th inning. Souk leading 7-0. So I think that is definitely a default, and I think we can put that one in the books. Souk blanking the Mixburg Twins. We'll do an update here after this pitch. Swing and a miss by Nash. So Souk with that win will play again at 6:15 this evening when they go against the Bear Creek Express. As for the Mixburg Twins, they'll be back in action at 8:15 tonight. They'll be 0-1 when they go against the host Kitchener Hallman Cubs. Cubs are playing Galway Hitmen mid-afternoon today. Nash at the plate, takes that high. You almost need 3 phones to broadcast. One to look after the Masters.
Well, you know, Fred, you got the phone, and you got sheets of paper with all kinds of stats on it, and it's just amazing how you keep up on everything. It's fantastic.
What's that called? Attention deficiency, where you can't focus on one thing at a time? Bernie Burnett joining us. Are you doing the next game, Bernie?
Correct.
Okay. I am going to stretch my legs. I've enjoyed the 2 ball games that we've had here today. I'll be back sometime, probably early evening, to do the 2 more games here today. You're watching Conestoga College Digital TV. We thank them for their support of the Kitchener Fastball promotion and their presentation of Softball Canada's championship tournaments.
You got to take a walk around St. Jacobs today.
That might be a good idea. I might come back with some gorgeous pies.
The market is actually open today till 3:30.
We've got some pinch hitters and pinch runners. For Newfoundland, at first base, that's Hatfield. So Hatfield has been on every time. He has 1 hit and has advanced twice by walks. Granderson has walked 4 in the game. 16 strikeouts for Granderson. Justin Gill has been a victim 3 times. Gill is at the plate now. Little conference on the mound here for Granderson. Once again, a quick thank you to everybody connected to the Kitchener Fastball Promotions in terms of sponsorship, and we also want to do a tremendous thank you to the volunteers. When you walk through the gate, you're met by volunteers. When you get to each ballpark, there are volunteers. There are scorekeepers and people operating the scoreboard. So lots of help. Many hands make light work, as the saying goes. Gill trying to keep the Josh Collins Racing Red alive here. It's 5-2. The Batmen lead. Hatfield is at first. 2 away. Called strike. Granderson has put away 16 via strikeout and 4 others. Corey Way, the only other busy fielder, he's made 2 putouts in left field. Granderson assisted on 1 ground out, throwing to Skelton. And Johnny Baker was the other one. Gill gets called strike 2. Gill was thinking about walking to first. One of the games in the under-23 is now underway. The Delilah Pride in against the Shallow Lake Sting. Granderson swings, and there's the ball game on the swing by Justin Gill. 17 strikeouts to end the ball game. No runs, no hits, 1 left on. So the Toronto Batmen win the opening game for them in this tournament by a score of 5-2 over the Josh Collins Racing Red. Pitcher of the game, without question, Tyler Randerson. He gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 hits, but struck out 17 in the ball game, including some pretty prominent hitters. So the Batmen, with that win, will now play later in the day against the Waterdown Hammer. The Hammer lost their opening game today, 4-1 to the East Hants Mastodons. The East Hants Mastodons will play their second game against these Josh Collins Racing Red coming up late afternoon today. Just before we go and sign off, we want to tell you what's ahead here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard in the under-23 division. Shallow Lake and Delisle are now underway, scoreless in the early going. Shallow Lake 1-4, Delisle 2-3. Coming up in a matter of moments, the Rostock Junior Batmen will be here on this diamond against the Murno Newfoundland Mariners. The Rostock team undefeated at 5-0, the Mariners 2-3. And then also a little bit later in the hour, the New Hamburg Mustangs will go against the Tavistock Merchants in a battle of Ontario teams. New Hamburg is at 3-1, where the host Merchants are at 2-2 with 2 games to play. That one and another one to be made up tonight. Tavistock and Murno still have to make up a game. On behalf of Conestoga College Digital TV, I want to thank you for joining us on softballcanada.ca. On behalf of the Kitchener Fastball Promotions, we encourage you to come to the Peter Hallman Ball Yard or Bud Park to see the games that are taking place. And we'll be back with more action in a matter of moments here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard.